Sinat here, and welcome to the Future Card Spotlight. That's right. I'm going to take a brand new card from Kaldheim, kind of see how it fits into the current standard environment, see what cards can be used to have great synergy with it. So let's get started. Today I'll be talking about the new card, Invasion of the Giants. That's right, Multicolour Sagas are here for the first time ever. Saga, they're back in Kaldheim. I'm excited. I've always loved Sagas. Multicolor just means they're going to be more powerful, more pushed, more value. It's pretty much all you can ask for. So let's break down Invasion of the Giants. Only costs 2 mana. Not going to do too much on the first turn. In the first turn, you're going to get to scry 2, which is nice. It'll set up your next draw step and possibly your next 2 draw steps for the next ability. Once you get that second lower counter on there, you're going to be able to draw a card, which you might already know. Then, if you reveal a giant from your hand, it deals 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Obviously, it would have been nice if this was creature as well, but still, getting an extra 2 damage to your opponent or whittling down an existing planeswalker, it's quite fine. It's a nice added bonus to drawing a card. So that turn, you're going to be drawing 2 cards, your regular draw step, plus this one, and you're going to be able to deal 2 damage. And then the third lower counter you put on before it goes away is the next giant you cast this turn costs 2 less to cast. That can be pretty good and allow you to... Giants are usually, larger creatures, heavier mana cost. So being able to play them... Just say you play this on Invasion of the Giants on turn 2. You get to scry, turn 3, you get the extra card draw, turn 4. Now you're looking at being able to cast this cheaper giant, which means, if you've played land every turn, you'll be able to cast a 6 mana giant on turn 4. Could get some extra value right there. So that's this saga in a nutshell and what it does. But how can we take advantage of it using the giants we have that are available in standard right now? Let's have a look. Alright, let's hit the collection. Easiest thing to do. We're in standard. We're good. Giant. Simple as that. Let's see what we have to offer. So, when it comes to a giant, second lower counter, reveal a giant. Doesn't really matter what you reveal. Any giant will do. Any giant. Let's make it easier. Let's make this creature. Any giant you have here will do. Obviously, giant killer doesn't do it. It's a human. Hopefully this doesn't start taking down all our giants. Everything else you see here is a giant and is good to go. So, the giant you reveal to deal 2 damage doesn't really matter. Any giant will do. What you're really looking for is a giant you want to play in standard that can take advantage of the cheaper casting cost. It's really what you're looking for here. You want to be able to cast a large giant for cheap, or even a mid-range giant. Casting it for 1 or 2 mana can be huge. Allow you to play multiple spells during that turn. Start taking advantage of the game. So let's break down the giants here and see what we can use. Obviously the spell Invasion of the Giants is red-blue, but we don't want to limit ourselves to just those colors. Obviously that would be better, but what we're going to do is try and see what options are out there. So, Rumbling Sentry, although a 3 mana 3/6 I can scry 1 would be good. Don't think it's something that we're looking for. Grasping Giant. So, 4 mana for a 5/7 Vigilance. It's a nice ability. It's not too bad, but I think we can do a little bit better. It's probably the best white giant that you can play here is Realm Cloak Giant. Means you got to move into Jeskai. Maybe a little Jeskai control. That's not a problem. But it will allow you to cast a giant for 5 mana. It means if you play Invasion of the Giants on turn 2, by turn 4, you're still not going to have, unless you ramp some way, not going to be able enough mana to cast Realm Cloak Giant on turn 4. So you're looking for a later casting of Invasion of the Giants if you want to use it with Realm Cloak Giant. It's probably going to be even later if you've sent it on an adventure by destroying all of their non-giant creatures. Which would be cool for a giant deck, obviously. So you're looking at casting Invasion of the Giants on turn 4 or later. If you want to use the full abilities of this card, casting and putting it on adventure, using cast off, and then casting it for 5 mana to get a 7/7 vigilance. So a little bit of work, but could be a big payoff, especially destroying all non-giant creatures. Next one, in color, Thrix the Sudden Storm. So this could be great. Giants, like I said, usually high casting costs, some of them. So what you're going to get here is you're going to get a 3 mana 4/5 flying. Because with Invasion of the Giants, you need to cast it on the turn that the third lower counter goes on them, which is your turn. You're not going to really take advantage of the flash part of it, but you might be able to use that other parts of the game if you don't use it with Invasion of the Giants. So getting a 4/5 flyer for 3 mana, it's not bad. It'll help reduce the cost of your other spells. So it's not a bad choice. I wouldn't mind on turn 4. Basically, you get it 1 turn earlier than you normally would. Plus, you have 1 mana left over on turn 4 in case you have an opt or shock or something like that. You can get out for 3 mana, get a 4/5 flying. Another in color is Brine Giant. Not ideal. Just a generic 5 mana for 5/6. Could get cheap. You have a bunch of enchantments, but remember when that 2 left for a giant resolves, you're going to lose Invasion of the Giants, that enchantment. So that won't help in giving it an additional mana reduction for casting Brine Giant. So probably not the best option. So I think one of the best options currently for Giant is Bone Crusher Giant. It's an already playable card. And then what this allows you to do is on turn 4, what you're going to do is you're going to be able to stomp 2 mana, deal 2 damage to any target, and for 1 mana cast the Bone Crusher Giant for 4/3 Bone Crusher Giant for 1 mana. So basically you're going to be able to send it on an adventure and cast a creature in the same turn, thanks to reduction in cost by Invasion of the Giants, and that's just huge. It's amazing thing to do for only 3 total mana in the 2 damage plus the 4/3 creature with a great ability as well. So this is going to be one of the number 1 targets that you want to have in your hand if you're looking to play Invasion of the Giants. So next up is not a card that's currently played a lot, but I think is going to be a really good option if you have a red-blue giant deck, or red X giant deck, is Shatter Skull Charger. So basically what you can do on turn 4, that kicker is basically free thanks to the reduction in cost from Invasion of the Giants. It means you're going to get a 5/4 trample haste. You can start attacking right away. It's going to stay on the battlefield afterwards and start dealing some damage. So it's a great giant. I think in the right deck, maybe a deck building, give it a try. I'm going to try this one out, see how it works with Invasion of the Giants. If there's not better options coming in Kaldheim, this could be a great choice. You're going to get in the 5 damage. It's going to come as a surprise, and it stays on the battlefield, which is great. You get that +1/+1 counter. a great use of the reduction of cost. Ideally, you wouldn't want to reveal this during lower counter 2, step 2 of this saga. That way you can kind of surprise your opponent with it, maybe reveal something else. But you know, even if you have to, they're going to have to play around knowing that a 5/4 trample haste is coming. So a good in-color option there. So another card which is, you know, a sleeper giant. It's a great card, but never really found a great fit. It might be time for Tectonic Giant to shine. So obviously it's a great ability. You know, every time it attacks, becomes the target of a spell your opponent controls, you can deal 3 damage to them, or get some card advantage exiling cards. It's the perfect mana cost to get that reduction in step 3. So what you're going to do is you'll be able to cast it just for 2 mana, allowing you to play you know, a second spell, maybe another Invasion of the Giants on turn 4, or a stomp ability with Bone Crusher Giant. So it fits in well to the curve and kind of what you're looking to do. So I could see this fitting well in a Giants deck, playing Invasion of the Giants. So next are the green giants. Yorvo is a great giant by itself, great for mono green. I don't think it's going to fit very well with Invasion of the Giants, being red, blue, being teamer. That's 3 green cost. It's going to be a little hard. Plus you get no reduction from step 3 because there's no generic mana. Same thing with Gyrenberg Paladin. To make a, you know, you make it a 5/5. You need to spend 3 green mana, so it's like the same problem we're having. That being said, with the reduction in cost, it would only cost green, green, green to make a 5/5. Still, it's tough on the mana. During Temper Saga, it's not bad. I love this card in draft. Don't get me wrong, but you know, 3 mana 5/4, they can gain 3 is okay. But I think we can do better. Next born Colossus, you know, suffers from the same problem, the triple green and the casting cost. It's going to make it very hard to use with Invasion of the Giant. So I think we'll skip that one for now. Pretty good option, what I see is Beanstalk Giant. So obviously you can play it in a teamer deck. It's only got 1 green. You can ramp, you know, you play Invasion of the Giants on 2, Beanstalk Giant on 3, and then you'll have enough land in play to play this on turn 4. Because you're going to have 5 mana in play at that time, plus the reduction in cost, meaning you can cast, you know, you only have 5 land, it'll be a 5/5, but still, you'll be able to play Beanstalk Giant into a turn 4, or, you know, fertile footsteps into a turn 4 Beanstalk Giant. So out of all the options for green, I think this is the best giant that you're looking at. Croaks is interesting. It definitely works with the giant and revealing. It can help you deal 2 damage. You'd have to play Grixis to kind of make it work, which for me is not a problem. I love Grixis. But obviously, you see, you're not going to get any reduction in cost from it. It's only colored mana to cast this, so kind of no advantage from step 3 of the lore here. Rapid Smasher can be cast for red, but you get no reduction in cost. You're not going to really play it at this price anyway, so I'd skip this one. Euro, of course, would be nice, but can't play that. So, one of the most interesting selections, something that I'm definitely going to put in my giant deck. A lot of people don't know this is a giant, because sometimes they think of it as Mechagodzilla. Crystalline Giant. So what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to cast this on turn 4 for 1 mana. That's right, 1 mana. That means you're going to be able to potentially, you know, you can Invasion of the Giants on 2. You can stomp them on 3. turn 4, you play Mecha Godzilla and Bone Crusher Giant. So that's quite the, the tempo, the advantage that you're going to get 2 powerful creatures on the board at the same time. And it works in obviously any of the different colors that if you want to play Teamer or if you end up playing Jeskai, it doesn't really matter. The colorless works well. Amazing with the reduction in cost. So as you can see, there's a few options in Standard right now, and I think they're all going to be great. Looking for, Thrix, Bone Crusher Giant, Tectonic Giant, Beanstalk Giant. You've got a couple sleepers in Shatterskull Charger and Crystalline Giant, i.e. Mechagodzilla the weapon. So, yeah, looking forward to playing this card. It's been a Future Card Spotlight. See you later.